again. Game number 5 between Daut and Chris in their 6-game series. As we know, the score is currently 3-2. No, that's wrong. What is it? Is it 3-1? Or is it 3-2? I don't know. I'm an idiot. I think it's 3-1 right now to Chris. Yeah, it is 3-1 to Chris. Daut losing the first game, winning the second game, losing the third and fourth game, and this is the 5th game. Right, I'm so considering I've literally just cast these games, how can I forget? I'm so foolish sometimes. Either way, we've got Nomad right here, and you know, this is once again part of the Clash of the Titans map pack. There's a lot of maps included on this, and I'm not sure if this is Fluffy Nomad or if it's just Nomad. I'm not sure what the difference is between Fluffy Nomad and Nomad, but I know that both those maps are in existence, and both of them, I believe, or one of them, are in this map pack. So if someone does know in the chat, let me know. But either way, we do have a Chinese war, and we do have Daut up to the north in blue, and Chris down to the south in red, as usual. Nomad then are one of my favourite maps to actually watch and certainly commentate on, because it literally is just so messy. In a lot of situations, players' TCs can be right on top of each other, because of course they are the ones who choose where to put their TC down. In this situation, we've got Daut and Chris pretty close together, and of course there is water all the way around the outside for good fishing. Now you can tell this is a new map because of how evenly distributed the fish are. I mean, if you look at that, it's almost like identical distance between all of them. That is because it's probably written by the Prophet or someone like that, and they've evenly distributed the fish, which is actually quite an important thing. It makes it a little bit more fair when it comes to water. Daut, though, going to have to dock in a good place here. He's searching around with his sheep right now, but it looks like he's going to dock up in the north, and that's a good position for him. There's going to be lots of big fish in the deep blue sea up here, but there's not going to be that many of them. Certainly not as many as there are on this right-hand side of the map, which is where I assume Chris is going to dock. So Chinese then, quite a popular civilization on Nomad, and you know, Nomad is quite a popular civilization with, a map with the Chinese players, so it's kind of funny that the Chinese civilization is pretty good for this map. Mainly because, of course, you start with those extra villagers. It gives you a little boost when you get going, as you can build your TC a bit faster, you can explore the map a bit faster, and all of that good stuff. Persians also seen a lot on this map, as obviously Persians with a very fleshed out tech tree, able to spam those knights, and they're pretty versatile as well, so always good stuff there. Chris, though, looks like he's going to build his dock up here on the north. Really interesting decision. Why would he come up here to build his dock when there's so much water on this side? We should have a look at his scouting, and maybe that will give us the answer. Well, at the moment, he's scouted this right-hand side, but he's not really having much of a look around. It's interesting to me. Chris, why? Why are you going up here to build your dock? It seems really strange to me. You can see Daut's dock right there, and he knows right now that Daut's got a pretty big advantage. Daut's already got 3 ships out, and Chris, you're right next to a bleeding lake. You'd have put your dock here at the start of the game, you'd already have your fishing ships out, and you would already be in a much better position when it came to getting your food in. So Chris certainly going to fall a little bit further behind in terms of food count now, as Daut will have those fishing ships out much sooner, and I believe clicking up to the feudal age right now as well. And Chris still struggling just a little bit to get that 500 food. He too just clicking up to feudal right now, and that's pretty close. Fairly close, but Daut gonna gain a lasting advantage, I think. And the biggest thing right now for Daut is that once he gets up to feudal, galleys. Galleys will come out. I think though right now with this 3rd dock going down for Chris, you can kind of understand why once he's actually seen these, he's just going to build 3 docks and make galleys. Of course he will. Daut unable to build a 3rd dock up here, or a 2nd dock even, because there's no villager to do so. So Daut could lose the water, and I think Chris certainly making a good decision to add those docks and try and focus on the water. But I think it's a bit risky. because he may invest a little too much in the water, and Daut's already getting a huge food boost from these ships, and I know that he's really going to want to focus on bringing them down because he has none of his own, but Daut is going to be bringing an attack on the land. With that archery range, with the second archery range going down, archers are going to be coming out, and Chris isn't walled, so Chris has got some big gaping holes on the left of his island. He's perhaps expecting Daut to make a grush here because he does have a lot of fishing ships, and he wants to, he assumes, to protect them. So Chris, up to feudal, lots of galleys queued up, and this of course means he's going for a gold and wood heavy build. You can see a lot of wood collectors there, 4 gold collectors, which is enough of course to support galley production on 3 docks, but a 4th dock for Chris. Really getting into this one, liking the idea of spending all of his resources on galleys right now. And sure, he will take out these fishing ships, but Daut already getting ahead with that, but little does he know, Daut's starting to make those archers now, coming around on the right hand side with some villagers for good measure. Perhaps we'll see a tower on his gold, archers on the front as well, gonna sneak in on this left side, potentially going to stop this villager from walling up. Looks like Chris going to be able to fight that one off there, bringing some extra villagers in, and there's the tower as well from Daut. Gonna cover that gold right there. It's gonna be in range of the wood right here as well. And I really am a little bit concerned for Chris here, because he's invested so much in these docks and in these ships, and Daut has nothing on the water. Chris will gain a little bit of score right now as he does take out these fishing ships. He will of course want to add some ships of his own, but he's losing a lot on the land. This may cover the wood. I think actually it might just be out of range of the wood here. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he's just out of range, but Chris is going to be facing these archers now, forced off of this lumber camp, and the amount of wood that Chris has lost so far, just wasted wood, because he's spent so much on the docks up here. He's spent way more than he needed to on galleys, and now he's having to rebuild lumber camps and all of that stuff. He's going to be struggling to take gold. No gold in his base right now. I'm a bit concerned for Chris's position already. Daut losing those fishing ships, quite a big deal. It does mean that he's not going to have so much food income, but he's set out and he's achieved what he needed to achieve. He's prevented Chris from taking gold. Chris though, going to push out on this left side, going to take some gold right here. Perhaps he'll tower it. We could see that happen. Yeah, there's the tower going down actually from him, so called that one. Tower going to go down, and that of course will help to protect his villagers on that, who want to palisade around the bottom to stop those archers getting in there still. So it's certainly not over for Chris now. He's negated the water advantage that Daut had, and he may even add in another dock of his own, or probably add in some fishing ships there. There we go, 4 fishing ships at a time for Chris right there, and he's going to start getting in some extra food. The problem is that tower position, Chris. Why put the tower there when you could put it right here on this hill? Not only will it cover the gold, but it will have an attack advantage over the units that are near it. And he didn't palisade it in either, which does mean that Daut is going to be able to just stand at the base of this thing, and he's not going to get attacked by it. So Chris there, pretty bad maneuver. Losing villagers to those archers pretty unnecessarily, and his tower's getting pretty ineffective. So oh, Chris, why didn't you palisade it in? Why didn't you build it up here? I don't know. So many questions unanswered. And Chris having a very messy game so far. Archers in for Daut once again, and trying to pick off where he can as many villagers as he can. A tower on the front. Is this going to be a finishing blow? I don't know, because Chris can't afford another tower. And this tower here, pushing him off wood once again. He's going to have to put a lumber camp here. Or maybe move some villagers back down to here. But this is really bad for Chris. It's terrible for Chris. And Daut, I think, really kind of almost outsmarting him here. Forcing him, well, making him think that he was going heavy into water. And then suddenly just coming in with a big land attack and killing off so many villagers right now. As he tries to wall this off, going to lose a couple more. There's another 2 down. Maybe another one as well. 3 go down. I can hear more dying down here, and Chris is on such a low population for this stage of the game. So low villager population, I should point out. 41 pop compared to Daut's 53, and there's the GG from Chris. What a quick game, but also how well played by Daut. I mean, he played that brilliant. He really put the pressure on where he needed to put the pressure on, and I think Chris made some very critical mistakes. Going 4 docks on Nomad, that's a pretty critical mistake. 3 is probably enough. And also investing so heavily into water when you haven't even checked if your opponent is actually making galleys. That's quite a big mistake. Also, not docking down here. He could have had fish quite safely if he'd have docked here. And finally, that watchtower in a pretty terrible position. Should have been on that hill. Would have actually secured the gold if he'd have palisaded around it. So pretty messy from Chris. Not sure what happened there. I mean, after the last 2 games, playing pretty well, kind of fell to pieces in that one. And that does mean that the series is 3-2 to Chris right now. And we will go into the final game in